Yo, this take from Jayda Cheaves got people talking crazy right now. She's out here saying men would be nothing without women because men grind just to get women. But that logic ain't adding up for a lot of people. Like, if that were really true, then explain why there are so many broke dudes with multiple kids by different women. That part alone got folks raising eyebrows.
Let's get into this.
Last person who could be called misogynist, because I'm all for the women, but like I also see the value in us. Like, we hold the power. Our pussies are the power. Niggas need us to feel like they're here.
This is where people start calling it out as straight up delusion. Because if men were truly motivated to level up just to attract women, then why do we constantly see situations where women are dealing with men who don't have much going on? No steady job, no car, can't even handle basic responsibilities, and yet they're still in relationships. And let's keep it real for a second. Those same men end up riding around in her car while she's working, eating her food, running up her bills, and depending on her financially.
Without us making a nigga feel like they're here, they feel like nothing. So like, yeah, we gotta cherish that shit. And if we giving that shit out, a nigga need to be giving us the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's just my preference. We also need to stop normalizing casual sex. Nobody in the world should be that horny where they gotta just sleep around with somebody that can't buy them a piece of chocolate on a holiday. That's not okay. And I speak from experience because I've been there before, and I did not like how that shit made me feel. I thought I was into like, okay, yeah, this is just somebody, this is just a little vibe. No, when that shit rolled around and I realized that, like, damn, this nigga, whoa, I didn't like how it made me feel.
That's a dynamic people are pointing at when they push back on her statement, saying it just doesn't match what's actually happening out here. Now listen, even the speaker admits he's called out men before. He's saying some guys move lazy because they know if a woman finds them attractive, they'll still have somewhere to stay and something to drive. That safety net is real in certain situations. That's exactly why people are pushing back hard on this idea that men are only grinding for women, because clearly that's not always how it plays out. So when someone says men would be nothing without women, you've got to break down what that really means. If you're talking about biology, that's one thing. But if you're claiming men are only motivated to succeed because of women, that's where the argument starts falling apart. Not every man is out here chasing success just for approval, and acting like that's the main driver doesn't match reality. Then the conversation flips to the audience. Like, be honest, are men really out here making life decisions just based on attraction alone?
I'm never doing that shit again. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's stop normalizing the bare fucking minimum. No, that shit is not okay, because you know when something's not okay? When you would be happy with it going another way. If that nigga would have got you something on Valentine's Day, you would have been jumping for joy, feeling yourself. But because he did it, you sitting here trying to convince yourself that, oh, it's just casual sex. Like, let's not make it, no, fuck that. Fuck that.
Because if that were true, you'd expect to see way more successful men across the board, and that's not what people are seeing. And here's where it gets even heated. The claim is that some women are choosing partners based on attraction first, not stability. And that creates situations where the same patterns keep repeating. Relationships built like that can lead to frustration later, especially when expectations don't line up with reality. At the end of the day, this whole debate is blowing up because people are tired of hearing oversimplified takes that don't reflect what's really happening out here. Now, this is where the conversation gets even intense. The claim being thrown around is that after some women go through a lot of casual relationships, they suddenly switch directions and start leaning into faith, wanting something more serious and structured. People are pointing that shift and asking, why wasn't that same mindset there from the beginning? The example brought up is Jayda herself, with people saying she already admitted she was moving freely in the dating scene. And now, critics are connecting that to a bigger pattern they believe is happening, where experiences start to change how someone views relationships over time. Then it turns into a deeper point about emotional burnout. The argument being made is that after going through too many unstable situations, it can make it harder for someone to fully invest in long-term commitment.
I feel like I'm the last person who could be called misogynist, because I'm all for the women, but like I also see the value in us. Like, we hold the power. Our pussies are the power. Niggas need us to feel like they're here. Without us making a nigga feel like they're here, they feel like nothing.
That's why some people say you start seeing mixed signals, talking about faith, love, and marriage one minute, then switching it up the next. India Love gets mentioned in that same conversation too. One moment, she's speaking on values and building a future, and the next, she's in a completely different vibe. And that contrast is exactly what people are reacting to. It's that back and forth energy that keeps this whole debate loud and nonstop. Now, this part really flips the whole narrative upside down. The argument here is that it's not just men out here moving wild. Women are in the mix too, and people are starting to call that out more openly. That old idea that only men are out here being reckless? Yeah, some are saying that doesn't hold up anymore. Then it goes into something that had social media buzzing. There was talk online claiming that after workouts, some women feel more energized and confident, and with more women hitting the gym than ever, people are connecting dots and running with their own theories about what that means outside the gym. That's where the conversation starts getting loud and a little messy. So the question being thrown out is, what's really going on behind the scenes? Especially when it comes to people who say they're single but are still very active socially. That's the angle critics are pushing, saying there's a gap between what's said publicly and what's actually happening day to day. Then it circles back to Jayda Cheaves and her past relationships. People are bringing up her history, mentioning names, and using that to question her current position and advice. The claim being made is that her experiences might be shaping the way she talks now, and not everyone is buying it. And now she's stepping into the space of giving dating advice, which has people split. Some are curious, others are side-eyeing it heavy, wondering if her track record lines up with the message she's putting out now.
So like, yeah, we gotta cherish that shit. And if we giving that shit out, a nigga need to be giving us the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's just my preference. We also need to stop normalizing casual sex. Nobody in the world should be that horny.
Now, this take right here is hitting a nerve for a lot of people. The argument being made is that some women only start giving advice after realizing their own dating situations didn't go the way they expected. It's like, after dealing with the wrong people over and over, now there's this push to rebuild standards and speak on what should have been done from the start. Then the question gets direct and uncomfortable. Why are some women choosing men who haven't built anything for themselves? That's the part critics keep pressing. If success and stability matter, why entertain guys who aren't showing any of that in real life? And let's talk about those same guys for a second. There are men out here with nothing going on, yet they talk like they're top tier just because they get attention. That confidence isn't matching their situation, but somehow it still works in certain cases, and that's what keeps this cycle going. So now the focus shifts to what real value actually means. The message being pushed is simple: stop confusing talk with results.
Where they gotta just sleep around with somebody that can't buy them a piece of chocolate on a holiday. That's not okay. And I speak from experience because I've been there before, and I did not like how that shit made me feel. I thought I was into like, okay, yeah, this is just somebody, this is just a little vibe. No, when that shit rolled around and I realized that, like, damn, this nigga, whoa, I didn't like how it made me feel. I'm never doing that shit again. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's stop normalizing the bare fucking minimum. No, that shit is not okay, because you know when something's not okay? When you would be happy with it going another way. If that nigga would have got you something on Valentine's Day, you would have been jumping for joy, feeling yourself. But because he did it, you sitting here trying to convince yourself that, oh, it's just casual sex. Like, let's not make it, no, fuck that. Fuck that.
Anybody can speak loud and act like they're that guy. But real status comes from discipline, building something solid, and actually having something to show for it. That's the standard being called out here. Now, this part turns into a reality check real quick. The point being made is that just getting attention or casual situations doesn't equal success at all. Some people are out here bragging about who they deal with, but critics are saying that's not an achievement. That's just a pattern with no real substance behind it. Then the conversation flips to social media, and this is where things get loud. Back in the early days, you might have seen a bold post here and there, but now people are saying almost everything feels like it's meant to grab attention, from pictures to everyday moments. It's all being presented in a way that keeps eyes locked in, and that shift hasn't gone unnoticed. Because of that, the bold are arguing that the lines between attention, validation, and real connection are getting blurred. When everything is centered around being seen and noticed, it can start shaping how people move in relationships too. That's where the mixed signals conversation really kicks off. And then it gets deeper. The claim is that some people end up in repeated situations because they haven't taken time to work on themselves fully.
We gonna sit up for this. What's my red flags? Come on, TikTok. First of all, bitch, I've definitely switched my people-pleasing ways. Chatty to the people I know and like. Can't relax because, bitch, I gotta get this money.
Instead of building confidence from within, they rely heavily on outside attention to feel valued, and that can lead to choices that don't always line up with what they actually want long term. The overall message being pushed here is about accountability and self-awareness. People are saying if you want different results, you've got to move different, and that starts with understanding your patterns and raising your standards for real. Now, this part gets real controversial fast. The claim being made is that some women feel a sense of validation when dealing with a man who's already in a relationship. Critics are saying it's not even about the man at that point, it's about the competition and the attention that comes with it. And if they manage to pull that man away, they see it as some kind of win, which just adds more fuel to the debate. And then comes the blunt takeaway. If those patterns keep repeating, people are saying the outcome won't change, and that's why the conversation ends with that sharp line about staying single. It's a harsh statement, but that's exactly why it's getting so much reaction. And that's really what this whole situation comes down to. People are tired of hearing bold claims that don't line up with what's actually happening in real life. The reactions, the debates, the call-outs, it's all coming from folks who see a disconnect between what's being said and what's being lived out every day. That's why this topic keeps blowing up and getting everyone talking. At the end of the day, everybody's got their own perspective, but not every take is going to go unchallenged, especially when it hits this close to reality. If you made it this far, make sure you tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.